and we didn't go to the third race of the season and make it to the championship round. Nobody did. And throughout the chase, nobody could assure themselves a ticket to Homestead the first race into the chase. And because of that, we've just been having to take everything one step at a time. We will not be able to assure that we can be a champion the first run of the race, so we don't put that pressure on ourselves. What we need to do as a race team is to focus on what's just in front of us.
And that was Luke Lambert, crew chief for the number 31 team. Newman and Lambert have exceeded many people's expectations in their first season together at RCR, an organization with plenty of history and pedigree. Our next stop is to RCR, where Kelly Stavis has this report.
Rick, I'm here in the Richard Childress Racing Museum in Welcome, North Carolina. This building actually used to serve as the team's race shop. Now, of course, they have a state-of-the-art facility just next door. But what's significant about this building today is that it houses some of the cars used the last time RCR won a Sprint Cup championship some 20 years ago with none other than Dale Earnhardt. In his first season with the team, Ryan Newman has sort of quietly gone about his business. That was until the final lap in Sunday's race. And now Newman has the opportunity to bring the Sprint Cup championship back to this storied organization, something not lost on the driver of the 31.
For me personally, just to have this opportunity, I know these guys can sit here and say the same thing. I mean, this is a chance for a dream to come true. And correct me if I'm wrong, but of the four of us, nobody's ever won a Cup championship. With respect to RCR and Dale Earnhardt Sr., yeah, I mean, that's, if you're going to follow anybody's footsteps and have some history, that's the man. But I won't strap into the race car thinking of that next Sunday. I'll strap into the race car thinking about what we got to do to get the Caterpillar Chevrolet in victory lane.
No matter what happens on Sunday, we'll have a new Sprint Cup champion, but all four teams left in the chase have already won the title. Most recently, it was Team Penske back in 2012 with Brad Keselowski. The year before that, Tony Stewart did it as owner-driver with Stewart-Haas Racing. And it was Stewart again back in 2005 who brought Joe Gibbs Racing its last Sprint Cup championship. But as I said, it has been 20 years for Richard Childress Racing, so perhaps no team is hungrier to bring that title home.
Richard Childress is one of four team owners with at least 6 Sprint Cup championships. All 6 of the team's titles were with Dale Earnhardt behind the wheel. So, Kyle, I've got to ask you, if they win this title, how big is that for the organization?
I think it's huge. But I think one thing that makes it huge is the time that has lapsed since the last championship. It's really hard to stay competitive, stay relevant. We see they're doing everything from the museum, something that happened 20 years ago. Right. They need to put another car in that museum that's recent. And I think it would mean the world to Richard Childress Racing, to Ryan Newman, to the entire organization and that fan base that they have to duplicate what Earnhardt Sr. had done 20 years ago.
Yeah, and also I think even deeper for RCR is that, the team, the 31 team is really, Luke's an engineer. It's kind of an engineer-based team, and I think that's the direction that, all teams are going in. And so this team this year has been the most successful, and I think from internally, that helps that team move into the future. How are we going to build the next teams? And we've already seen a change on the 27 with an engineer being promoted as the crew chief. So, I think that anytime you do something that's different for your company and it works, I think that's a good sign. And so for that team in general, that company in general, I think the 31 running well this year will have positive impact more than just making the chase. Some people say, well, just making the chase and being in this position is a win, and that's a successful season. I don't believe Richard Childress thinks like that. I believe he thinks at this point this team needs to win the championship for it to be a successful season.
And remember, to get in the chase, it was a last lap pass at Phoenix that got him in. Nick Yeoman, a pit reporter for IndyCar's radio coverage, sent out this tweet on Monday. The photo was taken in 1999 with a young Ryan Newman and an even younger Kyle Larson. Larson probably had a similar look on his face when Newman moved him out of the way at Phoenix on Sunday. When we come back, we hear the sounds from that dramatic final lap in Phoenix with Scan All 43.
We just need one spot.
They all see the white flag. One more trip around Phoenix.
Outside, clear, clear, clear. Checker flag. That's awesome. No mark on the car, and then he runs you into the fence.